Blue Jays 12, Mets 1. The Mets' Zack Wheeler had a rough outing on Wednesday against the Toronto Blue Jays, allowing 6 runs in 4 innings. CreditAl Bello / Getty ImagesMay 16, 2018. Yoenis Cespedes was not in the mood for talking. "Sorry guys," he said before the Mets' 12-1 loss to the Toronto Blue Jays on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, walking away from a throng of reporters waiting at his locker. In fact, he has not addressed his hip injury since briefly discussing it when it first appeared on May 6. Earlier in the morning, the Mets finally placed Cespedes on the 10-day disabled list. It was a conclusion Mets manager Mickey Callaway admitted the team had reached the day before, when they tried publicly explaining why they had not already done so with their hobbled slugger who has a history of leg injuries. "The decision was pretty clear that we needed to get him on the DL and to get him back to where he needs to be," Callaway said, because Cespedes's condition had not improved since he last played. On Sunday, the Mets sent him for a magnetic resonance imaging examination on Tuesday morning. General Manager Sandy Alderson, who led the team's medical overhaul after an injury-mired 2017, said the MRI confirms Cespedes, 32, had been dealing with a mild strain of his right hip flexor muscle. Although Alderson said a disabled list decision could be a few days away, he also said the Mets had not used the disabled list earlier with Cespedes because they were hoping that rest on days off would help him play through the injury. The Mets' slumping offense has been a leading culprit for their skid over the past 3 weeks, including Wednesday, when their only run came on a Brandon Nimmo home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Zack Wheeler, the Mets' starting pitcher, allowed 6 runs over 4+ innings, occasionally interrupted by heavy rain. The sloppy day continued a woeful streak for the 20-19 Mets. They have not won consecutive games since mid-April. "I've been inconsistent so far this year," Wheeler said. "That's something I need to clean up." After a slow start to the season, Cespedes leads the Mets with 8 home runs and 28 runs batted in, and they needed his bat in the lineup. Callaway said players usually try to play through injuries when they are not acute. From May 6 to Sunday, Cespedes, who is in the second year of a 4-year, $110 million contract, started 5 of the Mets' 6 games, and appeared in the 6th as a pinch hitter. He ran slower than normal, which affected his defense in left field. He looked uncomfortable at times on Sunday. Mets were off on Monday, but Cespedes did not improve. "He was improving while he was playing, but that kind of stopped," Callaway said. Before Tuesday's game, the Mets said they were still monitoring Cespedes's situation. Callaway said he would use Cespedes as a pinch hitter if the game was on the line. Cespedes was not needed in the Mets' 12-2 blowout win. Behind the scenes, however, Cespedes had told Mets officials that a disabled list stint made sense because his hip was not better. On Wednesday, Callaway said the Mets did not place Cespedes on the disabled list the day before because it gave them a bit of a competitive advantage over the Blue Jays, who were uncertain of Cespedes's availability to pinch hit. The Mets could also not get a player from Class AAA Las Vegas to New York in time. The rookie utility man Phillip Evans, who took Cespedes's spot on the roster on Wednesday, said he was scratched from the Las Vegas lineup on Tuesday evening, took a red-eye flight, and landed in New York around 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday. "To just have somebody here from Vegas every time somebody might or might not have to go on the DL is probably not practical," Callaway said. But Cespedes looked worse on Sunday, so the Mets knew of this possibility. Beginning next season, the Mets' Class AAA affiliate will be the Syracuse Chiefs, a closer trip that may alleviate logistical complications. After a 2017 season of several leg injuries and questions about his lack of hydration, Cespedes moved away from the past training regimen he believed led to his ailments and added more stretching and running, and even yoga, over the winter. Another leg injury still occurred. "He was doing everything we asked of him, not only through the off-season but in-season," Callaway said, adding later, "The way he went about his business was not the reason this happened. It's just wear and tear on the body from a major league season that everybody